Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I know that we are all still reacting to the primaries that happened yesterday, but I thought I would just make a 2024 election prediction video. Just to mention the Pennsylvania Republican primary. There has been no official projection. Oz is on track to win that race, but there has been no official projection as of yet. That race is still, when you look at those margins, they are very, very close. So we'll be at a recount. So really, that race is up in the air. But I believe that Oz is on track to win. But that is really all you have to say with that race. I'm going to get into this video between Governor Ron DeSantis and Senator Cory Booker. I thought this would be an interesting matchup. Before I begin, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're getting close to 600 subscribers. So if you've not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And also, yeah, that's about it. I guess I just have to say I make the videos based off of the current state of the country, and all my predictions are based off of that. So, keep that in mind when I'm making my election prediction. So, I am, mm, I'll give, no, I'm going to leave Oregon out. I think that DeSantis actually would do pretty well against Cory Booker in a presidential debate. If he actually went to those debates, I know Cory Booker would do well in the Northeast. He is from New Jersey, so he does have that appeal. I'll leave Connecticut for the likely margin as well. But I think that Ron DeSantis actually be a pretty good debater. But of course, that does assume that he would do the debates. I know that the GOP withdrew from the presidential commission on debates. Um, and who knows if they will be participating in those debates anymore because they believe because they believe that there's bias in the moderators, like Chris Wallace and like that other guy who, for 2020, I believe he made some tweet that was against Trump or was perceived to be against Trump. And, of course, many of the Republicans were upset with that and they thought that the moderators were unfair. So they've withdrawn from that. But if that gets fixed, I do think that DeSantis would be able to do well against Booker in a debate. And I do think he'd be able to possibly tilt Oregon or in Connecticut into that likely category. Oregon, actually, with at least with the governor's race, not with the senator race, because Ron Wyden is very popular there. But with Kate Brown, she's not too popular. That probably will be in the lean margin for Democrats, really. But yeah, anyway, likely would be Oregon, Colorado. Colorado would definitely be likely, and Connecticut. I actually do think that I'm going to leave Pennsylvania and Maine at large for the next round. DeSantis has a pretty broad national appeal. Of course, he is most popular in the Florida and South in the South. But I do think he would be able to appeal to those, the people, those lobster fishermen in Maine, those people that do split ticket voting in New Hampshire. And Booker, I just don't think he's the most viable candidate at the moment. There aren't many viable candidates, but I'm going to leave those for the lean margin. The remaining these 219 electoral votes, all likely for DeSantis. He would do very well in Florida. Um, not the same margins that he will win the governor race, but he'll probably win against Booker by about 5 to 6 points in a presidential election. Texas, similar margins. Iowa, Ohio, he would continue that Trump trend. So 219 lean Booker states. This would be New Mexico, Virginia, Maine at large, New Hampshire, and of course the state of Pennsylvania, not Pennsylvania, the state of Minnesota, with its 10 electoral votes. I still think it's going to be the slowest of all those Rust Belt states to shift Republican, just given the trends. It definitely is the slowest. Um, Lean DeSantis, that would be North Carolina. That would be Wisconsin. I'm also going to give him the state of Pennsylvania. People in the Rust Belt are very, very upset with Biden, especially due to inflation, especially due to his gas policy and his oil policy. He's anti-coal and whatnot, and all of that. And I do think that would contribute to DeSantis doing fairly well in the Rust Belt and winning Wisconsin and Pennsylvania by anywhere from 1 to 3 points. I also think that DeSantis would manage to win the state of Arizona by a lean margin. And of course, Cory Booker is not Joe Biden, but he would be associated with Biden. He would win Arizona by a lean margin. And for that matter, I think he'd be able to win the state of Georgia by a lean margin. So now we're headed in to the final two states. And frankly, I'm going to give Ron DeSantis the state of Michigan, Nebraska second, and Nevada. So all of the remaining categories would go in favor of Ron DeSantis, getting him to 313 electoral votes. That, in my mind, is probably the highest amount of electoral votes a Republican could get in the 2024 general election at this point, with the possible exception of flipping Minnesota, but that in itself is very rare. I don't think Virginia or New Mexico would be flipped in this election, regardless of the nominee. but this is probably the highest amount of electoral votes a Republican could get in this election. I guess you could give them New Hampshire, but 313 is about the cap. So Ron DeSantis wins the election, goes on to become 47th president of the United States. Make sure to like the video below. Tell me what your thoughts on my prediction are in the comments below. I always love looking at the comments and seeing what you guys have to say. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos. Have a great day.